Tell you what, you don't realize like how awesome life is. It's like 75 out here, light breeze, Greystone. We're out here for a great cause. Matt's going to be out here a little bit later, our sister station. They're going to have their big show in the afternoon. 3HL is going to be out here. It is amazing. So if you have a chance, you say, you know what, it's Friday, I'm getting off early. Come on out. We're going to be out here all day. Matt and I are going to be all the way here till 7. So we're here in Dixon, and it's awesome. But you know what else is awesome? It's like I'm sitting here, and I'm going to tell you this, you guys. Ken, you need a window, brother. I mean, we got to get Ken a window.
I know.
Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to bring us a sledgehammer, we'll gladly, after the show, just knock me a window into existence.
I have one in my trunk.
Okay, see, I'm sure you do. That's one of your things when you go on dates. But that's an odd thing. So you ever do that? You ever go to like a store and you're like, yeah, I need about 3 things of duct tape,
some rope,
maybe some zip ties, a hammer, some spatula. Do you have lime?
And make the hammer with claws.
That's right. Yeah, claws. Got to have claws. Oh, my goodness. I'm going on a date. It's going to be hot. It is gorgeous out here, though. Super excited. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have some fun for sure because it's Friday. We don't know how to do anything other than that. And we're going to have some of the people on. Jonah, he's sitting next to me here. He's the reason that we're here, him and his brother. And we're going to put him on a little bit later because he's got some hot takes about Israel. He's 21. He's got hot takes about Trump. He's got all kinds of hot takes about all kinds of things. So we're going to throw him on a little bit later. But it is, you know what? I was just sitting there thinking, it's like so ridiculous, like the blessing of being in this country comparatively to elsewhere. Where this isn't going on elsewhere, you know? Not like this. You know, they may try, and we're blessed that we can do that. People can give money. People can come. People do things that, you know, for causes that's just, it's incredible. It is. It's so incredible. I think we often, because with so much negativity, especially over the last several, weeks, but it's been that way for a while. But, then obviously what happened with Charlie, and then you start looking at what happened this week with the shooting. And that guy, well, the more they find about that guy, the less I'm sure I believe everything. I'm not sure I'm buying everything they're saying. That's all I'm saying. Feel a little, put it out there. But it's going to be fun today. It is. It's going to be fun. We'll talk a little bit about Comey. The Comey thing is interesting because, look, they're probably not, and I was telling people this today on my other show, this is not about holding them accountable. This is not about that. And then don't say that this is, well, we're only doing this because, no, you broke down the rails. You wanted this. You've got it, you've made it a point to go after everybody, but it's not about getting nobody's going to jail. You know what's going to happen, though? Their life is going to be miserable. That's what he wanted. The same thing that you put me through, I want to put you guys through. That's it. I was watching Adam Kinzinger today, and he goes, if we were going to do people who lied to Congress, that's the only thing we would do. Because everybody lies to Congress. Congress lies to Congress. So, but this is going to be, again, the bar's set high, but this is what Trump wanted. I heard him say, this is about just, no, it's what you wanted. You tweeted it out. I feel bad for the lady that's got stuck in the middle of it. I do. I feel bad for her because I was like, I'm like, oh, because nobody even went with her to the courthouse when she went for the indictment. They're like, yeah, we're not going to go because we don't think this is a good idea. And I'm like, really? Like nobody went? Nobody just did a solid and say, all right, you know what? Somebody's got to go with her. But nobody did. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Again, there's going to be more Bolton's next. Bolton's next. And then I don't know about Adam Schiff and stuff. Obviously he's not talking about Hillary. I mean, he's not going after, certain. But it'll be, again, the whole thing is going to be, this is about going hard at them because of what they did to him. And, I was telling my friends on the left, I said, look, here's the deal. Is this using it and weaponizing? Yeah, but it was weaponized against him at the local level, the state level, and at the federal level. So to say that it wasn't weaponized against him and to act like you're, once again, it's the same thing that, with the political violence rhetoric. The left ignores the fact that, calling everybody a Nazi all the time has an effect on people. Because it does. It absolutely does. It has a big effect on people because not everybody gets it. You know, like Ken, you were just joking about bringing a sledgehammer. There's somebody out there who goes, "Oh, I can bring a sledgehammer."
Yeah. Just joking. Just joking.
You know what I call it? It's the Cousin Eddie effect from vacation, Christmas vacation. You say something out of frustration or sarcasm, and somebody goes, oh, "Okay," and then they go and they take take his boss and bring him back, kidnap him. And not everybody gets that. Not everybody gets that, but yeah, there was somebody out there can go, yeah, I could do that.
So, dude, this Comey thing, man. I mean, what you're saying, it could possibly be just a way, to bleed his money.
Yeah,
I mean, it could cost him up to $2,000 per hour.
Per hour.
For attorney fees and then other costs related to his defense.
Big time. And, and that's the funny thing. That's what the federal government does. Now everybody gets to see what the weight of the federal government, from the federal government side, does is they get you to the point where, okay, you can fight this, but eventually you're going to go broke and then you're going to be screwed, or you can plead something out. Comey will fight it. It may even get thrown out before it ever gets there. There's a 50-50 chance that may happen. That they may say this is, vindictive prosecution or whatever. But it's the fact that all the stuff that he went through. And then when this happens, they wonder why. Well, what do you wonder why? It's like you punch somebody in the face and they punch you back and you ask, well, why'd you do that? Now, do I like the fact that the guardrails have been removed and, Trump is, I think, at least at this point, kind of using the DOJ as his personal, dog. Go get him. No, because you tweeted it out, too. That was the other thing. This wasn't one of those things where, you're not – they're supposed to be separate. But the money side of stuff, because, he's not worth millions upon millions. This may cost him $1 million or $2 million if it goes all the way through and he fights it, and he's going to. And I was watching a bunch of things today, and even late last night because I was up super late, and I know, shocker. But everybody thinks, oh, the Democrats are out there. They're mad at Trump. They don't like Comey. They've never liked Comey. They still think Comey's the reason that she lost in 2016 because he came out there and said that. They still blame him. So it's not like he's beloved by anybody in the Trump world, and he's not beloved by anybody in the Democratic world. The only reason they even pay any attention to it is because it's Trump doing it to him. But you're right about the bleeding, because a federal attorney at that level, and I doubt anybody's throwing it in for free.
Yeah.
Hell no.
And he's going to have to use his own money.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he's going to end up getting some donations from, the public that look at this as Trump overreaching, and they'll support him in that sense.
He might have to start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
He might have to start an OnlyFans. It's because
nobody wants to see that, Chad.
You know what? Settle down. All right.
Oh, there's people out there they'll
they want to know how big his feet are.
Yeah. It's just like us boys. Remember, we were going to shave our big toes.
That's right.
Start putting images out.
A couple ladies already came up here and they said, "Can I see your feet?" I said, "You cannot. Not for free. I don't do that
wax
for free.
them first."
Yeah, I don't do that for free. I don't. So, but yeah, he'll probably. You know what? He should start a GoFundMe. That would be good. We should. You know what, guys? We should start a GoFundMe for him. Get the Democrats to raise all kinds of money, and we'll just donate it to all kinds of causes like Turning Point.
Gotta say that quietly.
How funny would that be? And you know what? If you go and give money, I've always said this, if you go give money to, anything you see on there, know that you're doing it with the express written consent of your stupidity, knowing that chances are it's not going to work out the way you think. So I always preface that with everybody. When you go and do certain things like that, there's a good chance it may go sideways, and that person who's crying about something isn't really in the kind of trouble you think. But Comey is. It's going to cost him. And, I look at him, and I wonder, too, about, what kind of money does Bolton have? I wonder what their net worths are.
They're probably not hurting.
No. Let's see.
Relatively speaking.
Yeah. Net worth. Let's see. His net worth is, on your market set, I would say, because they got some book deals. He's worth about $5 million, they say. And because, some of these people, like you said, they're doing okay. They wrote books, the whole 9 yards. They get $50,000 speaking fees. He's going to be speaking forever. Some of them, if this thing goes, and it's a big if. Everything's always a big if. So, and he came out last night. And I'm defiant. I'm not going to be on my knees. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Well, again, this is what is going to happen. You're going to be. They didn't get the big one. Because, there was 3 they wanted. They only got 2. They didn't get the election interference. And then when it comes to lying, so you've got the lying to Congress and the did you leak? And his thing is, when I gave that information to my friend, he had already fired me. So because of that, that's not leaking. I didn't. I gave it to my friend, and he had already fired me. He was already tweeted it out that I was fired and that it was over. So that was a him thing. And then when it comes to the lying, man, you're going to have to – that's a tough one to prove because you have to prove intent. And that's all you got to get in somebody's mind. But it's this is one of those things where, you're going to find out that this is going to happen again because, unfortunately, now that we set these things, first with Trump and now Trump doing it to them, that the next person through is going to be able to do something else. And I'm like, I don't want a tit for tat always in politics. I think that takes away from, a lot of stuff. And it takes away from because everybody gets hyper-focused on certain things, and we should be focused on, the American people because that's always a good thing. That's what I heard. You really need a window, Ken. I wish I could be outside right now.
I wish I could be outside, too.
Dude, it is gorgeous. What's it look like this weekend?
It's going to be gorgeous, man. We're looking at a dry weekend, boys.
I know.
Dry weekend. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Lots of sun. Lows at night. Let's see. Saturday nights. Well, tonight's low is going to be 58.
Ooh, it's getting a little chilly.
You'll be able to see the moon with a few clouds, but still the moon will be visible. 58 tomorrow night for the low, fewer clouds. 60 for the low Sunday night, fewer clouds. And then Monday on our way to work, going to be beautiful. High only 87 on Monday.
Was it Umberto? When's Umberto supposed to arrive?
Umberto.
Is that Tuesday? It's supposed to slam?
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get anything from him until next week.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Umberto.
Umberto.
And you know what? Much like everything else, it could change because it's one of those things where by the time it gets here, it may be nothing more than some sprinkles.
Yeah, and let's keep our fingers crossed that is the case.
Yeah, no doubt. So it's going to be interesting. Got football all weekend, man. Football. Who do you guys play?
We have the week off. We got to get healthy, dude. We got to get some offensive linemen healed up. Then we have Kent State after our off week, so we'll definitely. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to need our starters for that. Hopefully, anyway.
Kent State, the Fighting Purple People Eaters, whatever they're called.
Man, that poor school has just been getting hammered.
Yeah.
By every D1 school.
Well, yeah, because they go and they're like, all right, here's the deal, guys. Our season doesn't start till week 6.
Right.
But you guys are going to go get your asses whooped for the first 5 weeks so we can get $1.5 million in here every week.
That's right.
So these guys can practice on us. They're going to beat us up big time. Some of you probably won't get off the field walking, but the good news is the checks aren't going to bounce and life is going to be okay. We're going to be able to keep the football program alive.
Now, this is going to be a big weekend for the Vols. The Vols have the undefeated Mississippi State Bulldogs, and they're on the road.
Oh.
So there's actually a lot of good games this week between some undefeateds, Oregon and Penn State.
Yeah, that's the big. That's where I think that's where ESPN is.
I think that's
right?
where they're at. Yeah,
it's a whiteout tomorrow too. Is that a night game?
Yeah.
No, it's not a night game. The whiteout there is just insane.
Yeah.
So, and you know what's going to happen? The Ducks are going to come in and lay eggs all over them. That's what Ducks do. They'll screw the duck, man.
Penn State, man, they cannot get over the hump of Michigan and Ohio State.
They can't.
They just cannot seem to do it.
Ohio State, okay this year. Michigan, nothing. I'm not worried about it. You know, even though they're using the hedge fund manager has been as the coach. Did you see that guy? The guy that was the coach for the last couple weeks?
For who?
For Michigan that was filling in? That Poggi guy. So he was a hedge fund manager, became super successful, then decided to go be a high school coach.
Yeah.
Kind of became a legend. And, he's got tons of money. And then he's kind of the dude who handles everything for them. And he coached those games for Michigan while what's-his-name was out. But he was like a big-time hedge fund. He was like a real, not I worked there for 2 years. Like he built a mega business.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I want to be a coach. That's my dream. All right, a lot of stuff to come up. We got we're out here today. We're at Greystone. We're at the golf club out here in Dixon. It is beautiful. If you have a chance, I'm going to be here till 3. Matt will be here at 3 o'clock. We were going to just, talk a lot of stuff today, and feel free to text in. Let's talk about some stuff as well. We're going to have Jonah on here in a little bit. He is the reason that we're all out here for this great cause of, and you can go check it out, fightdmd.com. But it is a great cause. It's muscular dystrophy, and the ones that they have, it's like 1 in 3,500 boys get it, and he and his brother both have it. And it is, you come out here and you see the big, bright, smiling faces, all these people out here. So if you have a chance, cruise on out here, especially if maybe you're on your way, I don't know, to Memphis, and you're just like, hey, before I go to Memphis and see the National Guard, I want to stop by here and see Chad. So we'd love to see that. This is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. So the National Guard coming to Memphis because they'll be walking in Memphis with no guns, right? They're not going to have guns or anything at first. No weapons, nothing.
Yeah, they will not be making arrests or anything like that unless the police department requests it initially.
Okay. So at first they're just going to kind of go. Now, are they going to be, I want to find out, are they only guarding the federal stuff like they did in, like in D.C., really all they did was the federal. They just wandered around the federal areas there. It wasn't like they were on the streets all day, taking people down or doing some of that stuff. So I don't know what it's going to be like there, if it's just going to be them, going around with the police. Are they going to be stationed in a certain area?
I don't know. The police chief said, we know where the crime is, so...
Really? Well, if you know where the crime is, why aren't you there now?
Well, there's that. And then Memphis Police Department, like a lot of police departments, they're short on officers.
Yes, they are. And it still goes back to, also, are you going to get prosecution to go along with anything that you bring in? Because that is so, it's,
that's a lot of it, too.
Everybody talks about Trump and what he did at the border. What he did at the border is he ordered everybody to follow the laws that were in place and not just willy-nilly go, if you want to. And if they're here, you get them, you turn them around, get their name, send them on their way. That's it. You don't get to come in here for 9 years and wait for your opportunity to get in front of a court. So, and it's the same thing with, like, even when you look around, all these big cities across the country, they've got these DAs, George Soros. That is, everybody talks about, the Antifa and stuff like that. The thing that he has done the most damage with is the DAs. Because the Antifa, that's one thing, but I don't think you people realize the DA side of it, that he has funded and put in place the Chesabodines and the Gascoignes and all these people who their sole goal is to, try to re-police and reimagine the way that things are prosecuted by not prosecuting it. Ken, you and I could have been prosecutors because they didn't do anything.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I can do that. I wonder what that pays.
I wonder if my office would have a window.
I could get a conviction.
You think, well... Here's the thing, though. You're not going to get a conviction because while you say, yeah, we should go after this person, they're going to say, you know what, we've decided just to cut him loose.
Yeah.
He's promised next time he won't get caught.
Yeah, there's story after story of criminals, people getting rearrested after multiple arrests. The killer in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That guy who stabbed that poor Ukrainian woman on that bus, he had been arrested 14 times until he finally committed murder.
So, And part of that, there's a mental illness side, is we have nowhere to put the mentally ill.
Right. That's part of it, too.
And then, you've got, San Francisco, you'd hear stories about, they go rob a CVS, and then the people would leave work, and they'd walk down the street, and these people that just robbed them are selling all the stuff on the street that they stole from the store.
Yep.
And nobody can do anything about it. And if you do catch them, they're like, well, you know what? It's a misdemeanor. It's a ticket violation, nothing more than that. And then they don't even follow through with that. So you're not even getting a ticket violation. So you look up and you think, what are you doing? And it's, again, crime goes down if you don't report crime.
Yes, sir.
Goodness me. There's so much to talk about today. So it's funny. Ray just texted in and said, absolutely stupid putting them there unarmed. Well, they're not supposed to be armed. That's kind of the rules when it comes to what they're doing here at this point in time. They have to be. Is it the mayor that has to ask, or is it the police chief?
From what I understand, it's the police chief, from what I understand.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Some other good stuff to talk about as well. I saw they walked out on Bibi today at the UN. That was not unexpected. They were going to do that anyway. But there's something that they're trying to do that may get us involved in another way when it comes to Israel. Talk a little bit about that as well. If you're missing the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. Beautiful people. The beautiful people. Oh, they all walked out on Bibi. And he was all mad. Again, this is the way and we get this, and Belle and I, we always joke about who burned the bagels. You hate the Jews. No, wrong. But there are serious issues, and it needs to be addressed. They've got tanks there. And Trump yesterday said, yeah, they're not going into the West Bank, and he holds up something today. It's like they seem like they're going in the West Bank. They do. They seem like they're going to do something. And if you're a Christian, the West Bank is where, for our belief of the religion, is where a vast majority of all that stuff happened. So we'll see what takes place. But they have destroyed. So there's nothing left. I mean, it's going to take years to fix, and the dead bodies underneath the rubble, God only knows how many that are there. But they've made no bones. This is what they're going to do. And it is a frustrating situation that we're even here. But the Europeans are over it. People are already saying, all right, several countries are like, we're no longer going to send you weapons. Trump is not there yet. Weapons of defense is one thing, but I don't want to be funding genocide, ethnic cleansing, whatever you want to call it. Especially when we got a situation here where, we were talking earlier about how many homeless people. That guy's out there, he's been arrested 14 times. That guy should have been in a home, away from people that could hurt him, or he could hurt himself, or he could do what he did. We've got veterans. How many of them sleep outside at night? We need, when we talk about America first, there's how about America first for the people who put America first for real? That's important. And that was always been my frustration. That we're out there. I mean, we're getting ready to give $20 billion to Malay in Argentina, because that isn't going well over there. If you guys are paying no attention, he's chainsawed himself into a lot of trouble. And it's not all his fault. The fact is that place has been a nightmare for. I can't even remember the last time people said, Argentina's got a really good economy. It should be. It should be a booming economy. Argentina's economy should be the kind of economy we talk about, like California and Texas. It should be a top 10 economy globally, and it's a disaster, and it has been. Poor policies, and you want to talk about, we always talk about going to the extremes from one side to the other. Go look at them. The minute you get elected, within 20 minutes, they want to get rid of you because you haven't fixed their problems, and they don't stay with the same horse very long. I'm surprised he's still there, but we're having to bail them out. And we got farmers. Trump said, we're bringing all these tariffs in and all this money's coming in. Well, remember where those tariffs come from. Those tariffs come from Americans. They're not coming from other countries. They're coming from Americans. So we're going to have to bail out farmers and but we're also bailing out everybody else, and that should frustrate us. And then my thing is I don't want no more money. Israel doesn't need any more money. I saw Mike Huckabee go, they could just destroy everybody right now. Yeah, you know why they don't? Because BB's got the wherewithal to go, okay, I can't just light everybody up and kill as many as I want, because if I did, then the world's really going to turn on me, and we might really piss the Americans off, because he knows he's already lost the youth, and that once this generation's gone, for the most part, the boomer generation, that Israel's going to lose its support here in the way that they've had it, which is just unbridled. Do whatever you guys want, whenever you want. So the way that they're looking to do it now to put more pressure on them, which would be a huge blow, that Trump is even getting involved, is they're trying to qualify for the World Cup. And UEFA and FIFA are thinking about saying, yeah, you can't play. The UEFA is probably going to get their way where they're not going to be able to play in the European soccer games anymore, and their club isn't, which will hurt them. FIFA, though, the guy who runs FIFA, he's good friends with Trump. And the FIFA tower, the FIFA headquarters are now in Trump Towers. But everybody's trying to do something to get this thing to come to an end. And it is a disaster that is getting worse and worse. And what happened October 7th was awful. Nobody, whenever you talk about this, people come and go, well, it's because you want the terrorists to win. No, I don't. Nobody's advocating for that at all. I want to see the needless killing stop. I want to see the powers that be try to come together and figure something out, and moving 2 million people to another country and paying them who knows what, Disney bucks or gift cards from Amazon. And then thinking, how much is that going to cost? Because you think Israel's going to pay for that? If we move 2 million people they're looking at Africa, they're looking at, what do you think that's going to cost us? Israel's not paying for it. We are. Which again goes back to, we should have no homeless people. We shouldn't. We sure in the hell shouldn't have any homeless veterans at all. There should be no way we should have any of those things. The money we spend and waste, and the money that crony capitalism divvies out, we got to do something better. We do. A lot of you chiming in about what's going on with in Memphis, and a lot of you are like, the guard's going to get shot. They're not. First of all, nobody's going to take a pot shot at the guard. Criminals, like the kind of stuff they're talking about, that they're really trying to go after, those people, they're going to do what they do. They're going to lie low. Because the thing is like, okay, well, you know what? You guys are going to be here. We're not going to do what we normally do. We're going to wait for you to leave. And then we'll figure something out. And now, if they ask the problem, and Ken, you and I have talked about this with the guard. The guard they're not police officers. No. Military is there to attack. Police officers are there to defend and to police, and policing comes with a whole different set of rules that the military doesn't have.
Military sees adversaries as combatants.
Yes.
Not suspects.
Yeah.
However, they can be used to help police, and that's what the governor says this is the reason for this deployment. So what sort of supporting role? Initially they're not armed. They're not going to be making arrests. And from what I understand, the only way that's going to happen is if the Memphis police requests it. We'll just have to see. Yeah.
And so, isn't it with the because they can transport. It's kind of like what they did when they were on the border, right? They can transport. They help with the paperwork.
Yeah, they can help with exactly stuff like that. Basically, what this I think will do is police officers will be able to just focus on patrol. Yes. Focus on patrol. Focus on crime, keeping people safe, while all this, whatever else is taking them away from that, if that is happening, can be handled by the National Guard troops.
Yeah. Okay. So unless, of course, they're requested. And like I said, too, the requesting, I'm just always curious because, like you said, one of them is there. You're a combatant, and it's the little things. I always go back to this. All it takes is something stupid, like with Bill Cosby, for somebody to go do somebody and capture, get somebody and think they've done something. No Miranda rights, didn't do something wrong way, illegal search and seizure. And if you do something, it all goes out the window. And that's the whole, kind of thing when you think about that, because they're not in that kind of position because that's not their job. Their job isn't to be policing. Like you said, they're combatants. You're a combatant to me. That's what you are. So I wonder how long they're going to keep them there.
Don't know.
They've not said? Not given a hint?
No, I haven't seen anything.
You can't keep them there forever. What's that cost? That's the other side of it. What's this costing? That's an interesting thing. Maybe we should put them through policing school for 6 weeks, right? So they can stay there a little bit longer. It is because it's a nightmare that people have allowed crime to get this bad. But I always go back to afterwards. The afterwards side of things is, have we fixed the problem where young men in particular, because let's be honest, we're not really talking about young women. We're talking about young men who think that everything has to be solved with a gun, that drugs are the only way to get ahead, or crime is the only way to get ahead, and that there's got to be other hope, and that comes through education. And the thing is, that's generational. That's several. You're talking years with that kind of fix. It's not a snap your fingers thing, and it helps knocking crime down. But people are desperate. They're going to do desperate things. People are pissed and angry. They're going to do things and act out. We've got to figure out how we go about what's the bigger picture. Because you got to get the crime down. That's great. I don't think the funny thing is the people that live there want the crime gone, but they also want an opportunity to have hope, so they don't have to worry about, hey, we have a permanent state of emergency where we live, because that's not a way to live either. So we'll see. This will be interesting. I'm because like I said, the federal side of stuff that we have seen in D.C. is a much different thing because Trump had such a large swath of jurisdiction over there, because it's a federal area. So pretty essentially all of it is federal. Where here, are they going to be on the streets? Are they just going to be coming to pick people up? Or are they only going to be at federal buildings and federal sites? Because I don't know who it was the other day on Fox. I was flipping around and they said, it sounds great and it's a lot of it's for show, but if you're only going to be there for federal buildings, there's no crime going on at the courthouse. The federal courthouse. The crime has already been caught, done, and they're being tried for it. There is nobody else doing anything crazy there. So that's the part I want to see what this thing looks like. So it'll be interesting to see. We're out here. We're at Greystone. We're going to be till 7 o'clock. I'll be here till 3. And then I brought my golf clubs. I'm not saying I'm going to go golf, but I heard that I might be able to get out and play some golf a little bit later. So, if you guys want to come down, hang out. It's for a great cause. So it is for Fight DMD. You can go to fightdmd.com. It's a form of muscular dystrophy. We're going to have Jonah on here next hour, and his dad. They're the ones who put this together. Jonah is just turned 21, or is going to turn 22. He is a guy that is a young kid who was fighting hard in this dreaded disease. And he is fighting super hard, and he's starting to get involved in politics and, really going out there and trying to make a difference for young people who are fighting diseases like this who, don't have a voice. So we're going to talk to him coming up next hour as well. If you're missing the show, we always say shame on you. Make sure you grab the podcast. Habit Friday. It's the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7. It's funny, when we go to break, Bell's all, you're going clear. And I'm like, am I? Because if you guys don't know that, that's Scientology, Space Mormons. And they come after us whenever we say stuff like that. We're just kidding. You guys know that, right? You guys can take a joke because you guys are all the Thetans. You guys fight those, so you should be able to take a joke. But I was telling you, so I've got a follower, dude, who's got like 200,000 followers. I don't know why he follows me.
On what format? What
on the gram? On the gram.
Okay.
The gram.
That's what I call it. The kids call it the gram.
Yes, sir.
So it's on the gram, and that's all he does. He's a full-time, Space Mormon, and he works at the place in L.A. And
Celebrity Center.
Yeah, all he does is talk about, more, spacey stuff. And I feel bad for him because he's always got a velvet coat on. And he's always waiting for L. Ron Hubbard to come back. And he's not come back, by the way. Whenever I watch him, he's got this, it's such a trip because I go like, he goes and he talks, right? And he talks about, this and going clear, like, because he'll take a question, like somebody asks him a question. Then you go to the comments, and it's just nothing but abuse. And it's all, hey, where's the leader's wife? What'd you guys do with her? She disappeared all those years ago. There's just nothing but.
Free Shelley Miscavige.
Yeah. Where's Tom Cruise? Do you really know Tom? It's all it is abuse. It is just brutal. I'm like, that's one of those things where you're going to get it, and you just got to go, you know what? I'm just going to do my thing, and then I'm just never going to look at it. I was hearing Chris talk about like his TikTok and stuff, where you have to sometimes just go, I'm putting some out there, and I'm just not going to look at it, because if I look at it, you're just going to get down when you have 100,000 comments, and there's some where he just turns the comments off. Oh, my Lord. Coming up, hour number 2 of the program out here, Greystone Golf Club out here in Dixon, and it is for a great cause. We're fighting DMD, and we're going to be here until 7 o'clock tonight. Matt's coming in right after me, so if you have a chance, come on out here. Still opportunity to think to golf and have some fun. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.